but it's worth it. PocaSPEAKS. This shit is naive, but it's worth it. It's all about community. Spirituality is important. PocaSPEAKS. This shit is naive, but it's worth it. PocaSPEAKS. This shit is naive, but it's worth it. It's all about community. Spirituality is important. PocaSPEAKS.
All right, hello, my loves. I hope everyone is having a great day so far. Shout out to my members showing up. Hey, Aileen. Everybody else, shout out to y'all. We about to go ahead and get started. We got a good old topic today. One that y'all be asking me about a lot. This is probably one of the most repetitive topics that I get asked about, privately, and then also in open forums. Everyone wants to know their life purpose, okay? And I mean, of course, that's something you would want to know. So we're going to go ahead and get into how to start figuring that out, what that looks like, and how to kind of get some answers, okay? Because I know, tapping into spirituality and not coming from that type of background, a lot of us come from either religion, or a lot of us just never really tapped in, period. So being introduced to this process, and then, getting hit with that question, well, what am I supposed to be doing? What am I here for? What is my purpose? What do I need to be, getting into, figuring out, so on and so forth. So we're going to get into, different methods and different ways of achieving that, as well as kind of getting an understanding of what your life purpose even is, okay? I first want to start off by saying, if you are watching from YouTube, definitely thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know whenever I go live or post any new content. Memberships are available on YouTube as well, so if you are interested in getting extra perks or access to extended readings or other videos, then definitely go ahead and join the membership. I think the cheapest one is like $3 or $4, so it's very cheap. So definitely go ahead and look into that if you are interested. If you're watching from Facebook, thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you leave a reaction, comment, and share this video with any people or groups that you feel like can use any information that we're talking about. Real quick, I am doing a birth chart and zodiology 3-hour seminar on the 21st of November. So for those who are interested, this 3-hour seminar will be touching on how to read your birth chart, how to understand the different zodiac signs, all 12 of them. I'll be going kind of into detail in regards to each of the 12 zodiacs so that you can get a better understanding of what that looks like when it comes to your birth chart. I will also be giving free birth charts to those who need it. If you do not already have your birth chart, don't worry about it. It is included in the $35, okay? Also, any spiritual services, life coaching services, mentoring services, therapy or counseling sessions or services are also available. Because it is the holiday season, I'm doing a lot of specials. So if you are interested in any of these services and you want to know All right. Boom. Okay, my bad. People be calling me. I be forgetting to put my phone on do not disturb when I'm on here, and when people call me, it knocks all of my stuff off. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. Let me know in the comments if you can still hear me before I continue on. So annoying. Okay, cool. So anyways, spiritual services are available, consultation services are still available, all of that good stuff. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this topic. Like I said, this is something that, I've been asked about quite a bit. Tapping into your spiritual journey. A lot of people are focused on number one, manifestation. That's the main thing. And then number two, life purpose, destiny. What am I here for type of thing. Okay. And that's what we're about to get into right now. Getting into the life purpose, the destiny, kind of figuring that part of your journey out, getting some direction on how to figure those things out, or if you are already there, how to move forward with that. Okay. So let's start from the beginning. Now we understand, tapping into spirituality, that we're here for a reason. There, everything is purposeful. Nothing is just there just because. We are not here just because, we did not show up here just for the fun of it, and just because. Everything has a purpose, including us. Okay. So a lot of us, either made the decision to come here for certain things, to do certain things, to accomplish certain things. Some of us may have come back, for different reasons, maybe, generational things, or personal development as a soul. Okay. There's a plethora of different reasons why we came here. Okay. But when we get here, our life purpose or our destiny is kind of already established before we get here. So what we're coming here for is already established before we get here. We already know subconsciously why we're here. Okay. Now, the whole thing about spirituality is getting out of the conscious mind and getting more in the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind, or the soul, or the higher self, right, the intuition, the intuitive part of us, is the real us. Okay, that's the real you. That is the pure you. That is you at its purest form. Okay. I tell y'all all the time that this body is just a vehicle for the soul. That's it. Okay, it's like Avatar. You put on the body just so you can be a part of this realm. When you leave this realm, that's it. Okay, the body does not come with you, because you don't need this physical body. Only in this realm do you need this physical body. Okay, so the first step of figuring out your life purpose, number one, is to start your shadow work. And I know y'all probably knew I was going to say that, but whatever. You got to get into shadow work. You cannot figure out what your life purpose is, what you're here to do, how you're supposed to move forward at any part of your life if you are not doing shadow work. Now, we already talked about what shadow work is. You can go back and watch those videos. But to refresh your memory, shadow work is self-development. Shadow work is tuning into self. Okay? It's intimacy. Into me, I see. I see my true self, my true form, my true purpose, my true nature. Okay. Shadow work is all about going behind the light, entering the shadow parts of yourself, meaning those parts of you that don't really get enough light, meaning, you don't really think about it. It's not at the forefront. It's not, sitting in everyone's face. It's those things you got to kind of dig for, those things you got to search for, those things that you have to do some work to figure out. Okay. So, shadow work not only is about healing. That's not all shadow work is. Shadow work is not just about going over your traumas and trying to figure out how you was traumatized, when you was traumatized, the way you was traumatized, so on and so forth. That's not what shadow work is about. Or the only thing shadow work is about. Okay? Shadow work is about fixing yourself, period. Working on yourself, period. Developing yourself, period. And whatever it takes to do that, That is what shadow work is. So shadow work can be meditating. Shadow work can be exercising. Shadow work can be journaling. Shadow work can be trauma healing. Shadow work can be childhood healing. Shadow work can be talking it out, getting a therapist. Shadow work could be, spending time in nature. Okay, shadow work is anything that you do to better yourself, to put yourself in a better predicament, to become a better version of yourself. Okay, and the only way you're going to align what you are sent here to do or what you came here for is for you to be in connection with yourself, the real you, not this body, the real you, the you that lives inside of this vehicle, inside of this vessel. You got to get a relationship with that motherfucker, and that is what shadow work is. Building that relationship with the true you, learning who the true you even is. Because the way that you've been conditioned to present yourself to the world is usually based off of trauma. That's why trauma healing is such a big part of shadow work and of spirituality, because the version of us that we think is actually us is not us. It's just who we have, mistaken ourselves to be based on trauma. Okay? So before I know what I'm here for, I got to know who the fuck I am. Makes sense? So before I can even figure out what my life purpose is and start living in my life purpose and fulfilling my destiny and becoming aligned and all of these things, I got to know who I am. If I don't know who I am, I don't know where I'm going. Simple. If I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what to do to get there, because I have no destination. Okay? So shadow work is the first step. You have to be doing your inner work. Stop thinking that you can skip this step. This is why every time you try to move forward without healing, without making the hard decisions, without sacrificing, without tuning in, without meditating, without doing the work, you always get knocked back down. No matter how many steps you take forward, you always get pushed back down because you're not fulfilling what you're supposed to fulfill in order to reach your destiny or to be aligned with your destiny. Okay? Stop trying to skip over the hard shit. Stop doing it. All you're doing is prolonging the process, and you're making it harder on yourself when it doesn't have to be. Okay? I tell y'all all the time, just because things look hard to us is usually because we're doing it for the first time, not because it actually is so hard and we cannot overcome it. It is hard because it's new. That's it. It's not hard because it's difficult and you can't overcome it, because if you couldn't overcome it, you wouldn't have attracted it to yourself. Period. You would not be in the position to face these things if you were not ready to face them. That's not how it works. If you are presented with a problem, it is because you can face it. Okay? We always hear this cliche slogan, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. No matter how much that shit sucks, it's fucking true. If you could not handle it, it would not be given to you. The universe does not put anything on your plate that it knows that you cannot handle, or it knows that you did not attract to yourself. And if you attracted it to yourself, it's because you are already on that frequency to handle it. Understand this. So when you're met with certain opposition in your life, the moment that you think that you're not ready, the moment that you think you're not prepared, the moment that you think that you're not going to win or you're not going to overcome this, is the very moment you've lost. You haven't even started it yet. You haven't even put forth one foot. You haven't even taken one step yet. And you've already lost the battle because of your mentality. All right? If you believe that you have an amazing life purpose and you believe that you were sent here to do something amazing and life-changing, why in the motherfuck do you think your journey is going to be peaches and cream? Make it make sense. Okay? If I feel like I was sent here to break generational curses, if I feel like I was sent here to do something monumentous and amazing, whether I know exactly what it is or not, why would I expect for my journey to be easy? Why would I expect to face things for the first time and win every time? That makes no fucking sense. So what you're doing is, you are attacking yourself before you even start the process, which is pushing you further and further and further away from what you claim is the goal. All right? You already knocked yourself out the game before you even started, just with your funky mentality, just with your negative mindset. Okay? I keep telling y'all over and over again, if you claim to be a queen or a king or a god, then you need to start acting like it. Because life is going to treat you the way you present yourself. So if you treat yourself like you ain't shit, you're going to have a you ain't shit ass life. Point blank, period. If you treat yourself like you don't know what the fuck is going on, you're never going to know what the fuck is going on. If you treat yourself like you can't face the opposition and face these challenges and win, then guess what? You're not going to win. You kicking yourself out before you even get started, and you have to be paying attention to that. Okay? Being tuned in and tapped into the moment. We talked about that on a couple lives ago. You got to be present. You got to be able to say, okay, I may not have all of the things that I feel like I need to have, but it doesn't mean that I don't have the things that I need for this moment. Okay, I may look at what's going on in my life and feel like I am not strong enough, big enough, wise enough to overcome it. But I know that if it's here, it means that I'm ready for it, and I'm going to apply pressure and do my motherfucking best. That's all you have to do. Nobody's asking you to come out the door swinging and knocking shit down and winning immediately. That is just, it doesn't make sense for anyone to have that type of expectation. If we're talking about healing, then we know majority of the things that we need to sustain ourselves as adults, we did not receive. So if I didn't receive the things that I need to sustain myself as an adult, how can I then beat myself up at the face of every challenge? In the beginning of every new step, new avenue, new path, new direction, am I beating myself up when I know I was not properly equipped in my childhood? At this point, we are teaching ourselves, and you have to give yourself space and grace in order to do that. Stop taking yourself out of the game, out of the race, out of the process, out of the journey, just because you are still limiting yourself based on your past. This is why I say you have to heal first. This is why I say you got to start your healing process and start your recovery process before you can figure out what your life purpose is, because you will be blinded by your past looking at your future. You can't see your future with the lenses of your past, because based on your past, you shouldn't even be here. Let's start calling a spade a spade. Based on your past, you either shouldn't be here, you should have buku kids, you should have buku diseases, you should be on have a life alert around your neck. Let's talk about it. If everything in your life lined up based on what you experience, baby, your life will be way more fucked up than you think it is right now. Let's really be real with ourselves here, and let's stop the bullshit. If our life really reflect what we went through, let's be for real. Okay? Come on now. It's not doing that. All right? Based on where you came from, you should not be at the place that you're at right now. If we're going based on what you call facts. Based on your experiences, you should not have the success that you have right now. Even if you see your success as being that much, don't matter. You shouldn't have it. Okay? So you're already beating the odds. You have already beaten hella odds based on your past. Okay? So it's all about your mentality. And in order for you to be in a good mental space to figure out where you're headed, you got to first be in a good mental space based on where you've already been. This is why we go backwards before we move forward, so that we can clean up the bullshit that is hindering us, holding us back, causing us to be stagnant, causing us to look at things with the wrong lens. Okay? Adjust our perspective, adjust our energy, adjust our mentality. Okay? Adjust our mindset, and then we can see the things in front of us in a whole new light. Okay? When we are looking at our life with the lens of our past, we cannot see all of the options that we have in front of us. We cannot see all of the beauty that is before us. We can't see it, because all we're doing and all we have conditioned ourselves to do is to continuously be in a state of reflection of the horrible things that have happened. So if all I'm doing is focusing on the bad, where am I making time for the good? I'm not. This is why healing is important. Because when you are unhealed, okay, or if you are in a current space of not touching any of your traumas and you just staying in that same energy that you've been in, all you can see is what you've already seen. And based on our past, all we have seen is trauma, pain, disappointment, illusions, horrific events, so on and so forth. And that's not all that there is. Okay? So shadow work is the first step. Until you start tapping in with yourself, connecting with yourself, spending time with yourself. And I tell you all the time, spending time with yourself don't mean I'm sitting in a room and just because I'm the only one in the room, that means I'm spending time with myself. No. Okay? Spending time with yourself means that you're doing things with yourself. Talking to yourself, addressing yourself as if you were talking to another person. Start treating yourself as if you are another person in the room. Okay, stop treating yourself like the way that you've been treating yourself for so long, because obviously that's not working. Treat yourself as if you were getting to know a stranger. If I'm getting to know someone outside of myself that I do not know, am I just going to sit in a room with them and just be quiet? No, I'm going to ask you some questions. Hey, tell me about your past. What have you been through? What's your mama name? Do they got mental health issues? Are you good? Do you have kids? How do you feel about this? What's your goals in the next couple years? What's your favorite food? What do you like to eat? What do you like to do in your spare time? Treat yourself as if you are getting to know yourself from the outside looking in. That's the best way to start. Okay? Because some of y'all have gotten so comfortable with yourselves and the form that you know yourself to be based on your past that you don't even consider yourself, worthy of too much of anything. So maybe you need to look at yourself in a different light in order to see your worthiness, in order to see, how much promise you actually have, in order to see that you actually have an opportunity to change here. Okay? Sometimes you got to shift your perspective. Treat yourself as if you are another person. How would you be treating that person? If you just stumbled across yourself on the street and you wanted to become friends, how would that conversation start? How would that go? What are the activities that you would do? That's the stuff you need to start doing. Okay? So the first step into figuring out your life purpose is shadow work. You got to start going through the past. You got to start breaking down yourself, your mentalities, your values, your morals. Everything that makes you needs to start being broken down and put on the motherfucking table. Okay? I tell you all the time, it's like when you take a car to the shop. If I don't know what's wrong with my car and I take it to the shop, the first thing they're going to do is run a diagnostics test. If I go to the hospital and I don't know what's wrong with me, the first thing they're going to do is run some tests. Why? Because they need to pinpoint where the problem is. So before you can move forward and say, oh, I got a life purpose of this and I got a life purpose of that, you need to pinpoint where the problems are. You need to pinpoint where the good is and where the bad is. Where you need to implement some different stuff and where you can just take it on to the next level. Where you need to throw some shit away. Okay, and where you need to refurbish some things, because some things could just, some things just need a breath of fresh air, and some things don't need any more breath because you're trying to breathe life into something that's dead. You need to know what in your life is dead and what in your life is on life support and needs a new heart. Okay, and the only person who can figure that shit out is you. This is why I say you got to spend that time with yourself. Ask yourself questions. Talk to yourself. Communicate with yourself. Before you pick up the phone and call that best friend, or you call your man, or your girl, whoever you rely on in life, whoever you rely on when things are going wrong in your life, you need to start making those calls to yourself. Before you outsource, insource. Period. Okay? What's wrong with me? Why am I feeling this way? Okay? Or if something happens throughout the day, talk to yourself about it. I do it all the time. I'll sit down and be like, I can't believe that motherfucker said that shit to me. Like, I'm really sweet. And then what's really funny is that and then what happened was, and I'll sit there and have a whole conversation with my motherfucking self. Why? Because I'm the only one who will always be consistent in my life. So the relationship with me has to be better than the relationship that I have with anybody else. I got to know me better than anybody else. I got to have my back better than anybody else. I got to support me better than anybody else. I got to be my own best friend, my own mama, my own daddy, my own confidant, my own man, my own husband, my own everything. brother, sister, cousin, everything. I have to be all of those things and more for me first before I can, number one, expect it out of other people, or number two, expect to have those things come back to me in my life. I have to be the first partaker of the shit that I'm claiming that I want. Period. Because if you want something so bad, if you want something bad enough, you're going to give it to yourself. Okay? If I want me a diamond necklace bad enough, I'm going to go buy that bitch for myself. If I want me a cheeseburger bad enough, I'm going to go get it for myself. Okay? So if I want love bad enough, I'm going to give it to myself. If I want peace bad enough, I'm going to give it to myself. If I want to feel valued enough, I'm going to start valuing myself. All of the things that I want, if I really wanted it as bad as I claim I want it, I would do it for me first before expecting it out of other people, because this is a personal fucking journey. When you get into spirituality, I don't care if you and your best friend start being spiritual together, or you and your man start being spiritual together, or you and your girl, you and your mama, sister, brother, cousin, I don't give a fuck. Whoever you come into this shit with, that's just who you entered it with. It has nothing to do with if they need to stay, if they need to go, or if they're supposed to be here assisting your ass. It just means y'all both started at the same time. That's all that fucking means. It don't mean you need to keep up with this person. It don't mean y'all journeys need to be aligned the whole time. Okay, be in the cup with my twin, we be vibing. No, none of that. Okay, because we are all different, meaning we all have different destinies, meaning we all have different paths. Okay, so if you are too easily distracted by having people in your space, then that really shows that you need to be spending this time to yourself or with yourself. Okay? So let's say that you started your journey, you tapping in, you doing it the right way. So before, you want to find out your life purpose, you want to figure out what you're here for, so you start tapping in with your shadow work. Perfect. Okay? Now, where you want to start off with is childhood. The reason we start with childhood is because when you came into this world, you were purely you. You were untouched, unfazed, unscathed by anything in your surroundings, because you were brand spanking new. Okay? You were you in your truest, most, unconditional form. Period. All right? Now, as you move up and you grow up and you move up in age, certain things start to affect that version of who you really are. Trauma, pain, different situations, challenges, all these things start to happen. And when those things start to happen and it's not treated the way that it should be treated, right? Meaning if you're traumatized as a child, you don't get the help that you need, whether it's from the parent or whether they go and get you professional help, okay? Or whether, something okay. Or whether something traumatic happens in your life and you don't get the counseling you need, or, something challenging happens and you don't get the conversation you need, whatever. Okay. A lot of us just didn't get what we needed at the time where things happened. Right. So because of that, it started to create a false sense of self, because we didn't get the redirection, because we didn't get the communication, because we didn't get the clarification. What our experiences taught us or told us we believed it, because nobody came in to rebuttal it. Nobody came in to undo it. They just let the you got that cut, and then the infection just started. Okay? So you basically are having to go backwards, way before the pain happened, way before the trauma happened, to connect back with your true self, which you were when you entered into this realm. This is why we start in childhood, because in childhood is when we got disconnected from our true self. So we got to go back to where the shit first started. And it didn't start when you was an adult and niggas started cheating on you, and people started treating you bad, and people started disrespecting you when you lost this and you lost that. It didn't start when you got into your adult ages or your teenage ages. It started way before that. Okay, so you got to go back to the beginning so that you can get back connected with the real you, right? What does that look like? That means separating from my past, separating from the trauma, understanding it wasn't my fault, understanding it's nothing I can do to undo it. I can only become better, getting an understanding of and processing that pain, okay? Making sense of what I experienced, coming to my own defense, being my own support system, giving myself the things that I needed at that point in my life when I encountered that specific trauma or challenge. Okay? Once you start to give yourself those things that you've always been missing, it helps you in the current years to eliminate things that no longer serve you. This puts you closer and closer into alignment with your destiny. Because as long as I have people around me who don't serve me, and I only have them around because I was traumatized at one point, and now I have trauma bonds, then I am not aligned. There's no way I can be aligned when I have people in my space, in my life, that are pushing me all over the place. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, all the elites. Okay? It's not going to work. It's not going to work if I'm in a position or I'm in a place or I'm in an environment or I'm working a job that is not conducive for me because I don't know who I am. How can I align if I'm in a position or in an environment that is not for me based on the simple fact that I don't know what's for me? Why? Because I don't know who I am. So before I know where I'm going, before I know who is supposed to be around me, who's not supposed to be around me, what job I am supposed to work, what jobs I don't need to work, what people I need to entertain, what people I need to stay the fuck away from, before I can figure any of that shit out, I gotta first know who I am. Okay? Because if I think I'm a bum, I'm gonna attract bums, and the bums are gonna overtake my life. Can't connect with my destiny or my life purpose if I'm surrounded by bums. Okay? Even if for real, up under all of that negativity, I'm really a god. I can be a god all I want, but if I convince myself that I'm a bum, me really being a god don't even fucking matter no more. That's what y'all don't understand. This is why your manifestations don't work. This is why you can't connect with the right people, and your soul tribe is not soul tribing. Okay? This is why your relationships are bullshit. This is why you work in dead-ass jobs and you're not getting any satisfaction, because everything in your life has been attracted to you through trauma. And until you understand that, your money will always be funny, your relationships will always be a rocky-ass roller coaster, and you will never be aligned with the very things that you claim are for you. Point blank the fuck, period. I don't know what other way to tell y'all. A lot of y'all want to do this journey without doing the work. It is so frustrating, okay? Because I'm picking up on y'all energy now. I can hear and I can see some of y'all watching this, and you're still in denial. You don't want to accept the fact that there's no way around it. There is no way around it. You will never, ever, ever, okay? Hear me clearly. Mic check 1 2 1 2. You will never connect with your life purpose until you start doing your shadow work. And you can get mad all you fucking want, and you can go to another spiritualist that's going to try to convince you that you can all you fucking want, but you're always going to be brought right back to this specific point. Period. You can cry to your ancestors all you want, but they're going to keep bringing you right back to this specific point, because you cannot achieve things when you are being held down by the weights of your past. It doesn't make no fucking sense. No matter how much a balloon wants to just rise and keep rising and keep rising and keep rising, if it is connected to a weight, it's not going nowhere. It's not going no fucking where. That balloon can have every intention to hit a cloud one day because it wants to go so high. But it's not going to fucking happen if it does not acknowledge the weights that's holding it the fuck down. And that's what's happening in your life. You can have all these dreams, all these goals, all these aspirations. Oh, I feel like I was sent here. I'm a god. I'm a goddess. I'm an empress. I'm a this. I'm a that. I'm amazing. I'm this. I'm big dog. I'm big dude. I'm all of this shit. You can do all of that you want in your head, and all it is fucking madness and stupidity, because you're trying to convince yourself that you are okay being mediocre. You're trying to convince yourself that it's okay for you to half-ass life just because you're either too scared to go and do something new. Okay? You either pussy or you negative as fuck, and you don't think that anything coming to you is better than what you've already experienced. And if that's the case, then you can just repeat this lifetime. That's what y'all don't understand. If you make a deal that you gonna come back and you gonna do this, this, and that, then it has to get done. If you came back to work on your soul and you ain't did no motherfucking work on the soul, then guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna be back here again, figuring it the fuck out. Dealing with the same karmic ass relationships, meeting the same people in different bodies, encountering the same energies in different forms, having the same experiences in a different time. It's gonna keep repeating. So you can do what you want to do. You can bullshit your life away. Go ahead. I'm not gonna fucking stop you, because what you eat don't make me shit. But at the end of the day, I am gonna give you all the information. And if you want to sit around and bullshit and be a part of the very matrix that you claim you're escaping, then just come back and try again. Because some of us trying to escape this motherfucker and never come back. But if you want to keep coming back, then I mean, YOLO. Who are we to judge? I don't want to come back to this crusty ass motherfucker. But I also know why the fuck I came here. Why? Because I did my work to figure it the fuck out. And guess what? Guess how long it took me? Guess how long it took me to figure that shit the fuck out? My whole life. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of stuff I'm still figuring out about myself. Because it requires work. Work takes time. Okay? Good things come to those who what? Wait. How the fuck do you expect to figure out something so monumental in your life and you're not doing nothing to gain it? You're not putting in no motherfucking effort. Okay, it's like the bratty kid that grew up with the silver gold spoon in their mouth. The moment something happens, that child is not gonna know how to motherfucking deal. Why? Because it's always been in a position where it ain't never gave itself no challenges. It ain't never had to do nothing. They just sat around and just, just expected everybody to do for them. So when they get to a point where they have to do for themselves, they don't know what the fuck to do. And that's what a lot of y'all are doing. Y'all just think that this shit is gonna pop up. Some of y'all lazy as fuck. You asking for all of this great shit out of your life. You want to be aligned with your life purpose. You want this amazing life purpose. You want your name to ring and go down in history. But then you also want to sit on your fucking hands and twiddle your goddamn thumbs. Nobody whose name went down in history was a lazy motherfucker. Period. Period. Everybody whose name is remembered throughout history, throughout time, put that motherfucking work in. Period. They put that work in. They had to get up every day and fight for that shit. And we talking about people who grew up in conditions way worse than what we got right now. Okay? We don't have all of the freedom, right? You can't just go outside and do anything. But you do have enough freedom to get the motherfucking job done. Ain't nobody holding you back. We live in America. The fuck? You can wake your ass up and start a business right now if you wanted to. You can wake your ass up and move across the country if you wanted to. Can't nobody stop you. You can wake up and go to school. You can wake up and get a new job. You can wake up and do anything you fucking want. Period. Ain't nobody stopping you from doing shit but you. So the reason a lot of y'all can't connect with your life purpose is, number one, because you don't want to do the work of self-discovery. You don't want to do the work of self-discovery. Why? Because you've convinced yourself that there ain't shit to discover. You think you know everything there is to know about yourself. And you are sadly mistaken. You are sadly mistaken. If you've only been through trauma and you've only experienced, negativity growing up in your childhood, then you never know who you truly was. No one ever helped you figure out who you truly was. So how can you sit there with so much confidence and think that there's nothing else to discover about yourself? I discover new shit about myself every fucking day. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But guess what? The fact that I discovered it gives me the opportunity to fix or change whatever it is. So when you ask to be placed in powerful positions and you get the power, why the fuck you not using it? You got the power to figure out what the fuck is going wrong in your life. Why you not doing that? So you want the reward, you want the life purpose, you want the $1 million, you want the mega mansions and the houses and the cars and the clothes and the accolades and the fame and the comments and the shares and the likes and the support and the subscribers. You want all of this shit. But what are you doing to get it? Can you really picture and this is what I used to do as well, and still do to this day that helps me. I picture myself laying in the bed at 70 and 80 years old. And I look back at this very moment that I'm in right now, and I ask myself, am I doing everything that I possibly can? Is there anything that I will regret not doing? Even if I'm scared. If I look back at this shit from the perspective of an 80-year-old who has more years behind them than in front of them, would I be satisfied with myself in this moment? Fuck no. I'm being pussy. I'm being pussy. And the main reason why a lot of y'all don't want to get up and do the work is because, oh, I don't know what's going to happen next. You never knew what the fuck was going to happen next. That didn't stop you from making decisions before. What the fuck? You fucked that nigga and didn't know what was going to happen next. Okay. Yeah. You got that girl pregnant, didn't know what was going to happen next. You took that job and didn't know what was going to happen next. You moved to that city or that state or that new house or that new apartment and didn't know what was going to happen next. So stop trying to tell me you don't move because you don't know what's going to happen next. That's false. And the more y'all feed yourself bullshit, the more excuses you give to yourself to sit there and not do a motherfucking thing. And then the first thing y'all want to do is play the victim. You're not nobody's motherfucking victim when the opportunity has presented itself in front of you multiple times. Victims don't get opportunities. That's why they're victims. The fuck? If a victim had an opportunity, it wouldn't be a fucking victim. Make it make sense. If you have all of the things you need in front of yourself to start the process, you're not a victim. If you know what your pains are, if you know what your flaws are, if you know what your traumas are, if you know what your issues are, you are not a victim. Victims don't have options. Victims don't have awareness. That's why they're victims. You can't be a victim and have the solution to your problem. You can't be a victim and be presented with a way out. You can't be a victim and continuously, be making strides and doing things in your life. Victims don't go to happy hour. Victims don't be out on the weekends. Victims don't buy themselves clothes and shoes and shit. Victims don't go out and celebrate and turn up. Victims ain't out here screwing and having sex and fucking around because they victims. So if you enjoying whatever little bit of life you got, baby, you're not a victim. If you got something to show for your motherfucking life, whether it's big or small, you're not nobody's fucking victim. If you wake up every day and you can breathe in oxygen through your lungs without the assistance of any device, you're not a motherfucking victim. If you can get up out of your bed without anybody's assistance and you can walk to the bathroom and wipe your own ass, wash your own butt, you're not nobody's fucking victim. Period. Stop trying to give yourself all of these excuses to not win just because you're scared of losing. What the fuck? I'd rather be an 80-year-old who lost every motherfucking thing I went and tried. Why? Because I at least tried. Rather than being an 80-year-old who's sitting there with all these questions of how something could have turned out, how something could have went, how something could have gone, how it could have looked, how it could have worked out, where I could be. I don't want to be no woulda, coulda, shoulda ass, old ass person that's sitting around talking about, yeah, when I was in high school. Nobody give a fuck about high school. What you do in your 40s? What you do in your 50s? What you do in your 30s? What you do in your 20s? That's what the fuck we want to know. We don't give a shit about you playing basketball in the 7th grade, pop. Nobody give a shit about that. So think of that. When I become, older in age, because that's the goal. The goal is to get old, right? So when I get older in age, can I say that I've given it my best? Can I say that I applied pressure my whole motherfucking life, whether I was scared or not? Whether I won everything I went after or not? whether I achieved every goal or not. I can't say I applied that motherfucking pressure. I can't say that I didn't let myself limit myself from what I could achieve. I want to die empty. I don't want to die with ideas. I don't want to die with goals. I don't want to die with dreams. What the fuck is the point of me living all this goddamn life if I'm going to die with all the shit that I wanted to do? That's stupid as hell. That's stupid as hell. I don't want to die full. I want to die empty. I want to leave when there is no more for me to do, no more for me to give. That's when I want to go. I want to go when there's nothing else I can do. I can't even open my mouth. That's when they can take me up out of here. When ain't shit else for me to achieve. I didn't achieve all of my goals or tried to achieve all of my goals, tried to achieve all of my dreams, went after all of the things I believed in, fought for the things that I believed in. That's the way I want to go. That's the way I want to go. Period. I don't want to go with ideas still floating around in my head from when I was 20 and 30. No. No, I don't want to be on my deathbed, trying to tell my grandkids and my kids and their kids, don't be like Nana. Go out here and don't nobody want to keep hearing that from their family. How many people in your family just said that shit to you already? Don't be like me. Go out and live. Go do this and go try this and go try that. Why the fuck do you think they saying that shit to you? Because they are now at a point in their life when they are in reflection mode and they are regretful. They are regretting not taking that chance, not taking that leap of faith, not trusting in themselves, not doing the motherfucking work no matter how hard it is. They regret that shit. Some of them can't get past it and they turn into these old ass adults who are mean and nasty. They die alone. They don't want to be bothered with nobody. It's not because they just mean and nasty ass old people. It's because they looking at their life and they have nothing to fucking show for it. And that's a fucked up position to be in, especially when your days ahead of you are shorter than the ones behind you. That's a fucked up ass place to be in. When you make it to 60 and 70 and now you want to do the shit that you were so motherfucking scared to do, but now you don't have the energy to get it done. Or the time to make sure that it turns out the way that it needs to. Or the time to put into it. Okay? So there is no life purpose without figuring out who you are. And y'all cannot skip this fucking process. A lot of the things that you think is your life purpose is not your life purpose. Let me say this as well. Your life purpose is not going to bring you quick money. It's not. Your life purpose is not the thing that you do and you immediately start making hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars. Nope. Your life purpose is the thing you got to put work in. It's the thing you got to learn. It's the thing you got to be better in. It's the thing you got to really, really do the research, spend time. It's the thing you have to cultivate. You have to breathe life into it. You have to create it to be what you want it to be. I say all the time, your gift will make room for you. So when you tap into your gift, when you tap into what you're here for, when you tap into your talents, everything else falls into place because you're falling into place. It's not going to happen overnight. So a lot of the things that y'all doing to make quick, easy money, it's nothing wrong with it. As long as you're not going against yourself, as long as you're not betraying yourself and going against your morals and values. Okay, I'm never going to tell y'all to go out here and make money off your body. That's hoe shit. Okay, I don't care if you're a man or woman. That's hoe shit. I ain't going to never be no OnlyFans. Live your best life. Live in your truth. No, you being a fuck ass hoe. I'm never gonna tell y'all to do that. I'm never gonna tell you sell your body, be no stripper, do none of that degrading ass shit. Because your life purpose is not to degrade you. So ain't none of that your life purpose. So whatever's giving you quick money, quick finances, that's usually not your life purpose. Now, you can use it in order to fund your current life until you establish your future. That's fine. Working a 9-to-5 is fine until you establish your entrepreneurship. Right? Having a little job on the side, a little part-time, that's cool for you to feed your family in between time. Okay? But that's not where you settle. That's not where you lay your hat. That's not where you take off and lay your bed at. Okay? That's just what you're using to get you to the place that you're trying to get to. That's what you're using to fund your dreams and fund your goals and fund your life purpose. Okay? Now some people don't even have the funding. Some people just go straight into bulldozing. They just be like, YOLO. Like, that's how I jumped in. I didn't have a 9 to 5. I quit my 9 to 5 in order to pursue my life purpose. That's how hungry for the shit I was. And guess what? When I quit my 9 to 5, I didn't just jump into life coaching. I didn't just jump into reading cards. I didn't just jump into, doing the shit that I'm doing now. I jumped into myself. I quit my 9 to 5 and I did a year of solid shadow work. Solid. And even before I quit, I was already doing shadow work. And it still took me some motherfucking time to get established to the place that I am now. It doesn't mean that you won't have some success starting out, or you won't have some good things happening, or you won't make any money at all. It just means the way that you see it in your head is the future tense. That's where you want to be eventually, right? But there's things that happen in between that. So you can't go into it like, even if you look at the people who, let's say, are successful off of making music. You know how many mixtapes and songs and different things that they had to create and had to do before they got that one song that put them on the map? Right? Before they got that one placement that did what they needed it to do, and they made that real coin. They could have been making a little coin here, a little coin there, a little something here, a little something there, doing what they love. But they didn't get that real success until they spent a little bit of time on their craft. Because you're developing self. You are the gift. So you can't nurture the gift without nurturing yourself, because you are the gift. That's what y'all got to understand. This is why you can't skip shadow work. You are the life purpose. You are the gift. You are the destiny. It is you. So when you look in the mirror, you are the thing that you are working so hard on. It's you. So how can I apply my gift or my talents or connect with my life purpose if I'm ignoring who the vessel is that's carrying that gift or that talent? Right? I'm gonna give y'all an analogy. Race car drivers, right? The car and a race car driver, the car and the driver are very important, right? But what do we see the most of? We see the car. Right? The car has to be equipped. It has to have the right stuff in it. Okay? They have to have the right seat for their comfort, because they're in that car for a very long time. If you used to watch NASCAR, go to NASCAR. I used to as a child, and I really love NASCAR. Even though it's a little redneck, I love me some NASCAR. Okay? Anyways, the car is a prized possession within itself. Right? Because that's what you see. It got the number on it. It got all of the people who are supporting it on it. The car is one of the main events. But that car ain't shit without who? The driver. So if the driver is in a horrible condition, or if the driver is not in a state where they can do their good driving with that car, no matter how good that car is, nothing is going to happen. Period. Nothing will be achieved. Nothing's going to happen. Nobody's winning the motherfucking race. Because no matter how important that car is, no matter how good of a condition that car is operating in, it ain't shit without the motherfucking operating it. And that's you. You hold the talent. You hold the gift. You are the life purpose. So to ignore yourself is to ignore your future. To ignore yourself is to ignore your gift, to ignore your talent, to ignore your purpose. Not tapping into yourself is you pushing yourself further away from what you're trying to achieve. You cannot skate past it. There's no way of getting around it. There's no way of getting past it. Okay? I tell y'all, shadow work holds all of the answers you need for every part of your life. And that's why I'm going to always scream it to the rooftops. Okay? Always. And some of us may have always known what our gifts are, or always known what our talent was, always known what our purpose is. Right? Some people don't have to go figure it out. They always knew what it was. But you can't connect to it if you're not doing the work on yourself. So whether you know what your life purpose is already and you just trying to get to it, or whether you don't know what it is and you're trying to figure it out, you can't do either or without acknowledging yourself, without doing the deep dive into who you are. Period. Okay? So hopefully y'all got something from this. I wanted to kind of, like I said, spend some time breaking this down because I feel like it's something that's super important. We all have different journeys. We all have different life purposes. We all have different gifts and talents. Even, the people who are in the same category. There's other life coaches out here. There's other spiritual life coaches. There's other readers. There's other intuitives. There's other shamans. There's other herbalists. There's other authors. There's other everything, right? But not one like me. Why? Because I know who I am. How did I figure that out? Oh, okay. Y'all know the answer to that. So if you need assistance with doing the work, doing the healing, starting your healing journey, starting your shadow work journey, getting your foundation together, I do have mentorship specials and life coaching specials that are available. I have consultations that are available if you just need some direction, if you need some tools, if you need assistance, whatever the case is. Okay. I am also doing still doing new moon readings for those who are interested. If you want to know what your life path is, I have life path alignment readings. I have what's holding me back readings, next step readings, chakra alignment readings. All of these readings are kind of helpful into as far as figuring out what you're supposed to be doing, what could possibly be holding you back from achieving that, or just giving you some insight into, how to move forward with this specific part of your life. Okay. Also on the 21st of November, again, I am doing a 3-hour seminar on birth charts and zodiology. I will be giving free birth charts to those who sign up for this course. We will be getting into how to read and understand your birth chart, how to use it to manifest and to create. This also will help you with your life purpose as well. Knowing your birth chart does help you get an understanding of what you're supposed to be doing in this life or what you came here to do. Okay. I will also be touching on zodiology. I'll be going through all of the 12 zodiacs so that you guys can get a better understanding of how they operate, how they work, and how it may be affecting you personally with your specific birth chart. Okay. Other than that, rewatch this video as many times as you need it. Share with anyone who can use it. Feel free to take clips and post them. Just make sure that you tag me. If you're watching from YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know whenever I go live or post any new content. Make sure that you join the memberships as well. I will be doing some special videos this month for my members. I've already been doing a lot of extended readings for my members. Of course, there will be some more personalized videos that come for my members and my members only. So if you're interested in that, definitely head over to YouTube and click the join button after you subscribe. If you're watching from Facebook, thank you for tuning in as well. Make sure that you send a reaction, comment, and share this video with anyone who can use these messages. Other than that, I will see your beautiful faces tomorrow as we go into our Wisdom Wednesdays. Enjoy the rest of your day, and